All right, let's try this again. What's up, peoples? What's up, peoples? What's up, peoples? It's your boy MM2K back again with another one. You know what I'm saying? So let's see here. Did it work? Are we live everywhere? Are we live everywhere? That's all that matters. Is your boy live? And yes, I am live. Okay, good. Golly! Like Cobra Pow. Jeez, man, this is getting ridiculous. Okay, so I'm gonna tweet this out. Y'all can see what the subject matter is. What Microsoft lobbied Sony to put Halo on PlayStation? Crazy, crazy. What's up, Sean? What is going on, brother? I'm just gonna talk about this real quick because this is a hot topic. We want to dig into the validity of this, right? And then we also just want to talk about what this means in the grand scheme of things, following up on this particularly controversial and divisive E3 showcase for Microsoft. Mac, what it do? The random guy signed that contract. Y'all keep trying. But nah, my G. It's not happening. But I'm going to explain to you because look, I love the fact that y'all love y'all PlayStation, right? And I know y'all loving the fact that MM2K looks like an idiot ass hole and a half, caping in the past for Microsoft. I get it. And I'm not mad at y'all. Because if I was in y'all's shoes, I would do the exact same thing. I'm not mad at y'all. Here's the thing, though. And I always give this scenario, which I think is very valid. I know I get like a broken record, but as I've learned growing up, repetition is the mother of learning. That's what my grandma used to say to me every time she whooped my ass because I didn't listen to what she told me to. They call that child abuse, nowadays. So I can't cap for that. But she used to whoop my ass, boy, when I didn't listen. Okay, so. That's why I often repeat things, because I want it to be etched in your mind and for you to understand where I'm coming from. It's not so much that I think I hate PlayStation. I think they gotta go, or no, I don't hate PlayStation. Let me take that back. That I'm not a big fan of PlayStation. I think they gotta go. Therefore, I can't give them any credit. Y'all know I give PlayStation credit all the time. I'm fighting mugs on Twitter today because to me it just sounds ridiculous if you are a PlayStation fan. I mean, if you're an Xbox fan, what's up, Paul G? For some reason, y'all ain't coming through on the chat, but it's just technology, the wonders of technology. So what I was saying is, it's not that because I don't like it, then I gotta discredit it. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has different tastes, and like I said, I've been having to deal with silliness on the internet because after this E3, I don't think any Microsoft gaming fan has the audacity to say anything's wrong with PlayStation. I don't care if the joysticks got the dead zones and the joysticks are at 1,000. I don't care. They are satisfying the gaming community to a point to where you're being outproduced 2-1. The only place where you're not being outproduced 2-1 is financially. I don't play games to cover your financials. I play games because I want a quality experience. So what we see happening is we still have people reaching in the bag even after this catastrophe. And they still want to take pawn shots at PlayStation. No, PlayStation, Nintendo, Sega Dreamcast, I don't care what it is. You should not be wasting your Twitter fingers on anything but Microsoft. Microsoft, what happened? Microsoft, are you going to show us the way? Because we're going to talk about it today, people. There is nothing that Microsoft is providing you that you can't get elsewhere. That's not likely going to be. I mean, that's more likely going to be better. Okay? You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into it. I don't want to spill the whole kit and caboodle, but I want to say big up to the chat. You know what I'm saying? Wait till Comic-Con. That's right. I'm waiting till Con Air. When Con Air 2 comes out, you gotta wait till all these damn Con. When Con Air 2 comes out, Sean, I'm gonna that's when that's when Microsoft will give me the product and services that I like. I mean, come on. And I just see the silliness. And it's like, okay, if you want to go to Fan Fest, if you want to celebrate whatever it is that you find fruitful there, okay, fine. I don't care, What you like is what you like. But at the end of the day, I just found it quite suspicious that you had a group of people that liked XYZ, right? That liked XYZ. You were never given XYZ, but the company slaps you in the face with ABC. And just for the sake of what people are saying across the street, you're like, okay, well, I guess when I told them XYZ, I really wanted ABC. This is all fine. I don't get this. And I'm not going for it. So basically what I'm trying to say, my friends, is that due to this switcheroony that now everybody wants to, you know what I'm saying, just succumb to, I may not be signing a PlayStation contract, but we got something in store. We got something in store for my legacy Xbox brethren. See, I refuse to call this new path by this new regime Xbox. This is not Xbox. This is Windows gaming. I refuse to call that path the Xbox path. But we got something for y'all. We're going to show you how to fight the New World Order, okay? I'm going to show you how to fight the New World Order. If you're wondering what you could do to get Phil's attention, to get Satya's attention, to at least get them to acknowledge that, hey, we are turning a blind eye to the goods and services that you traditionally feel are the staple of what you need in your gaming day to day. We don't care about that anymore. If you want to get their attention and you want them to be finally transparent about that, or to foster some type of positive change, if you're somebody that fits in the same basket as I and have been waiting for this stuff, we're going to show you how to do it. It's not over. Well, Xbox is over, but our outreach and the effect that we're going to have in this community is not over. You'll see. You'll see. So while I'm talking about that, that's a perfect segue into this until we get into right before we get into the meat and potatoes. Here's the thing. I feel personally that I may not be the best steward of clear communication and concise communication, but I feel like I have something different to say, right? I feel like I have something different to say that can benefit some people, okay? So because I feel that way, I'd like to, as you can, if you haven't noticed, I've done more and more podcasts and I've done more and more material. You know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to reach out to everybody and provide as much material as I think I can to help foster your gaming decisions, right? Whether your gaming decisions align up with mine or not, it's not about that. I love diversity of thought. I love diversity within the community. I'm real big on that, right? So, in order for me to do that, I got to do that on a stable platform, correct? Yeah. And so there's various platforms out here. There's Twitch, Mixer, Periscope, Facebook, and a whole bunch of other shit out there, right? So, when I'm trying to provide that platform, and instead of me being able to consistently rely on the platform that I'm deciding to primarily do this on, aka YouTube, and it disrupts what I'm trying to do, which is, again, it's not for me. I'm not getting paid. I'm not partnered with anybody. I'm not getting paid for this. I feel like I'm doing a service. Now, again, if the channel grows and I benefit from it, it'll be all to y'all. We're going to pour it right back into y'all to make this bigger, badder, you know what I'm saying? Bigger, badder, and better, right? But on the other end of that, I need a stable platform in order to do that. And what I'm here to tell you, and yes, I'm talking shit on their own platform, is that YouTube is not a stable platform. YouTube is fucked up. Whenever you have people and entities building businesses off your platform, and at a moment's notice, you just shut it down, and you could fuck up somebody's revenue, and you don't feel like you gotta respond, apologize, acknowledge, none of that stuff. You just go about your business. When that is the framework of your business model, it's time for me to look elsewhere. Now, I'm not saying this to say that I'm not going to provide any material on YouTube. That is not false. You still will get daily continuous material from YouTube, from your boy. But what I'm saying in totality is that we're going to have to spread our outreach out, because there are some big things that we want to do at PNTS, big things we want to do at Broadband Bullies, just big things MM2K want to do in general. Now, what is your boy squawking and fussing about? Okay, I got my live stream capabilities removed in the middle of E3. Now, during E3, the biggest gaming season, you know what I'm saying, for all of us hardcore gamers. That happening throws everything so far out of whack. And for PNTS, it's not just about what MM2K is doing, but PNTS has other contributors that PNTS is trying to spotlight. So just imagine, which I'm not the only one that fit into this category, just imagine if there's other people that are trying to partner with PNTS Network. There are revenue streams that are working through that partnering, and then all of a sudden, y'all shut the shit down. No explanation, no excuse, no sorry, no, you know what I'm saying? None of that stuff. That's not a viable platform. It may be lucrative, but it's not a viable platform. So I just want to say that because I just want to make y'all understand that A, the bulk of MM2K's material cannot be beholden to YouTube anymore. It just can't. And B, because it can't, and we have to have a viable platform, that means that I got to invest in one of these other viable platforms. Meaning, I got to partner with them. We got to get our business stuff up to queue. I don't want to partner with YouTube all like that. I mean, if it happens, it happens, but I'm not relying on that. That'll be the third rail. But if I partner with somebody else, then there's certain exclusivity that I got to provide to them. So starting next week, and you're going to get details of this before this all goes into place. Starting next week, you will have a lineup of what's going to be where, when it's going to air, and how you can get access to it. Because this shit's for the birds. It's absurd. It's absurd, and it's for the birds. I'm not trying to flow. You know I got bars. What's up, Kratos? And they're talking this shit. Marion Sway. I'm neutral on the subject, but Phil never stated specifically he looking to release games on PlayStation. If that was to happen, he should release them physically, digitally, and streaming too. Graphic God says, oh man, we're getting hot. I mean, this is absurd, man. This is getting out of control. Yeah, and I'm talking shit on their platform. I'm not the only one. This is a gamer thing. This is not a fanboy or a console war thing. This is a gamer thing, man. I've been doing this shit for too long, like, you know, working with high profile people. One day, when I'm no longer under what we consider an NDA, which may be soon, folks, And we can talk, we'll talk. I've had conversations with some of the most famous people that you've met and their contacts, lawyers, and shit like that. This ain't new to me. YouTube is just a bunch of people that had an idea that was hot. It was super hot. But I don't mean that they can provide a platform to where they can sit there and say, come on, I just ran into an advertisement earlier today. Yeah, multiple people are doing business on YouTube, and you get access to half the internet. There is no way that you can sit there and have that your moniker, but then you shut off the pipeline for everybody else at will without explanation. That's unacceptable. But because you have a lot of freelance work on that and people are beholden to them, that's when you get away with this stuff. And that's why I'm so vocal about it on the gaming side. I want there to be competition. I don't have the mindset of feel that competition, all it does is it causes a crab in a barrel scenario. Phil was talking that dumb shit on that Giant Bomb interview all day yesterday. It made me sick to my stomach. Competition fosters creativity, nuance, a whole bunch of good stuff. It sharpens the skills of everybody involved. It sets the bar high. And at the end receiver of those goods and services, they get a better product as an end result. Stop talking that dumb shit like competition is Chernobyl, burning the skin off of babies and women. Stop. That's why you can sit there and say you're going big at E3, and people will say this is one of your worst E3s ever in your tenure. So what does that got to do with YouTube? Well, because YouTube is so big and it's the primary streaming platform, they can do stuff like that. So I want to speak out, because that's what I do. I want to speak out, and I want to say, y'all ain't got to take this shit. Hey, yo, Twitch is bumping, man. Y'all ain't got to take this shit. They got to get better at this, man. This is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Big up to 706 Gamer. So if y'all looking to like get on YouTube or whatever, this is what your boy recommends. Get a follow on YouTube. You would be silly if not to try to put some time on YouTube. But don't put all your eggs in one basket. Have multiple material. Have multiple platforms. And like I said, if you can do it elsewhere and get it bumping and rolling, then do it. Put some shit on YouTube. And use the platform of YouTube to draw them to the other shit. Double dip. Double dip, baby. You know what I'm saying? This is absurd. Unacceptable. And I'm not even getting paid from this. I just don't like the inconsistency. I can't work with it. You put you all into something, you built in something, you ready to go live, the shit shut off. No goddamn explanation. All you doing is following these facts and all this. Man, they're out there ever-loving mind, man. Oh, look who's on his way back. Big up to FC Violent. He said he's on his way back. Hit back now. Link for Halo on PlayStation. Bro, just go on Twitter. So we're going to talk about it. Thomas Franks. PC for me, next generation. Y'all killing it in the chat, man. All right. But if somebody wants to put the link for the homie FC Violent, I'll do this. No, I got something. All right. Okay. Hold on 1 second. All right, so here's the deal, y'all. Microsoft, it's been reported. Now, again, it's not been said with 110% certainty, okay? But it's been rumored, and other people are saying it's an official report, that Microsoft was looking to shop Halo on, what's going on? They were looking to shop Halo on PlayStation. That they had lobbied Sony to try to put it on PlayStation. Now, where did this information come from? I want to show you guys an article. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get some things together here. All right, I want to show you guys an article. And let's transition it. What the hell? Oh. I was wondering what the hell that was. Okay. We going. Jesus Christ. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second here. There we go. We good to go. All right, so let's transition this over. All right. So this is a story coming from comicbook.com, but I've actually heard the podcast as well. And the podcast is called, I never even heard of this podcast until now. What the hell? Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting messages. This news is so hot. It just got messages. Everybody like, yo, the 2K, yo. Okay. I don't even know who that is. All right. So Colin Moriarty, right? He was formerly of IGN, as far as I'm being told. Big PlayStation guy at IGN. He is on the panel, or he hosts this podcast, and the name of the podcast is Sacred Symbols. Okay. So the episode of Sacred Symbols that was released yesterday, June 13th, was just special for opposition research. I'll read you the bylines of the episode. The episode says E3 2019 is Sony-less, which doesn't exactly benefit the world's most beloved PlayStation podcast, or does it because we're as wild and unpredictable as the day is? And then they're saying that they're talking. Next generation officially begins fall 2020, considering this opening salvo of our focus methodical, blah, 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 blah. They talk about Microsoft's 90-minute conference. And what was framed around Project Scarlet and PlayStation 5, blah, 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 blah. So, Colin, I always get this guy's name wrong. Colin Moriarty. Colin Moriarty, again, formerly of IGN. What's up, Skip? What up, Overdone? Formerly of IGN. Was... this is a PlayStation podcast, so all my PlayStation listeners, if you're interested in it, this is very PlayStation centric, so I would definitely check it out. But Colin Moriarty had said that, he has deep, and he's known to have deep PlayStation ties. So with his deep PlayStation ties, he has said, hey, look, I have very deep information, through my sources. I want to get the exact wording that he used. And it's 48 minutes within the podcast. Let me see if I can get the link for everybody. See if I can find a link. Come on. Let me see here. But according to Frank Moriarty, he said that according to his Jesus Christ. Hold on. I'm in the wrong. I'm in so many. I got so much information everywhere. I'm sorry. All right. He had guy says he has sources, viable sources. That's the term that he used. He has viable sources that that Master Chief Collection, that Halo Master Chief Collection was being shopped to PlayStation. So while Master Chief Collection was going through the rounds of being on Steam and all the other stuff, that they've talked about shopping it on PlayStation to Sony. And he didn't indicate what the end results were, if it's something that's going to come later, if they feel like this ain't the right time, or if something that got turned down. I theorize that maybe right now, because of a lot of the flack that Sony is getting, that they might be nervous about that. So they might have turned it down if this report is true. And I also want to read you this article, so just so I provide a backdrop. According to a new report, Microsoft was once looking into bringing Halo, the Master Chief Collection, to PlayStation 4, and may still be. The report comes from an IGN PlayStation journalist, Colin Moriarty, during a recent episode of Sacred Symbols, a PlayStation podcast. According to Moriarty, Microsoft was once looking at bringing the collection of Master Chief games to a PlayStation 4 a few years ago. Whether Microsoft is still interested in this, unclear, but you would assume they'd still be willing to play ball. I have it on good authority, that's the term. I have it on good authority that Master Chief Collection was being talked about on PlayStation 4 years ago. Like I have it on great authority, Sid Moriarty, while speaking to the co-host, Chris Ray Gunn. Okay. So, and FC, let me see if there's any more. Moriarty notes that he wouldn't be surprised if he saw Xbox games coming to PlayStation 5 in the next few years. And they tell you, as always, take this with a grain of salt. It's an unofficial report. Moriarty says he has reliable sources in the past. He has provided reliable sources in the past. So this guy's really plugged into PlayStation. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Just from personal experience, and I don't want to spill too many beans because I don't want to expose some people, some sources. But I personally have sources that are close to within the brass of Sony. I'll just say this. We were 2 blinks away of having those sources come and communicate with us. I'll just leave it at that. I'm just going to leave it at that. So I know Sony seems so far off and seems so like distant and don't talk to anybody. No, they just like to control their message heavily. So as long as you don't go running at the mouth and go talking a whole bunch of silly shit that they don't like and that they're not in the spotlight except for when they want to be in the spotlight, they'll talk to you. I've seen it firsthand. They will definitely talk to you. So to believe that Colin has sources, it's not a stretch of the imagination. I'll just put this out there. And it blew my mind because this is what at the beginning of my tenure. So I'm just doing this freelance. But I showed them my body of work, what I was trying to do and what our aim was. And the rep said, well, okay, well, let me get your agents down with my agents. And we can figure something out. Or we don't even have, I'm like, whoa. MM2K ain't got no agent. I'm a one-man band. I was like, oh, this shit done got real. It done got real. So, again, and I'm nobody. I'm a peon on a peon. But again, it was just doing, I've been working with high-end business people for decades. So me going and seeing somebody that's in a high position, it doesn't intimidate me or give me goosebumps and none of that shit. I've done that for years. So by me simply walking up to this person, exhibiting that I do have the ability to understand the scope of what you're doing and, how we got to keep the communication at a certain level, at a certain chatter level, you know what I'm saying? To where it's not too loud and, talk business. I was like, sure. We could just check all the boxes in the right places and we can make something happen. And I'm like, oh shit, hold on. Now you might be a source I could use in the future, but I don't want to fuck the game up right now. MM2K ain't got no agent, so just hold off on that, right? So again, what I'm basically trying to say is that it's not hard for me to fathom that this guy that is got tenure in the business, part of IGN. If I had that access just through communications and just because of somebody that I had knew, the dude is way deeper into the situation than that. And I would think that, again, per his prior sources, that this individual might be onto something. He might have had a legitimate discussion. But again, it's all speculation until one of the entities come forth and says so. But guess what else was speculation? Scarlet. Guess what else was, speculation? xCloud. Guess what else was speculation? Game Pass Ultimate. I don't know if y'all follow your boy MM2K on social media, but when you followed your boy on social media, if you did follow your boy on social media, I had a question to Mike Ybarra. I went to Mike Ybarra and I said, yo, Mike Ybarra, I'm interested in this Xbox game or a Game Pass Ultimate. It might be something that's cool for my son. How do I sign up for the beta? Now, what I had did is I had read a story on it. I think it was from Windows Central. But Microsoft had not officially come out and said anything about it. So Mike Ybarra's response to me was, Game Pass Ultimate, what? What is that? I swear to God, that's what he said to me. Look up MM2K, Mike Ybarra, that's what he responded to me. Now, a week later, it got announced, and I responded back with smiley face. I was like, now can you answer my question? And he didn't respond. But see what I'm saying? So it came from a valid source, Windows Central, a valid source. They had access. They said, we said with X amount of confidentiality, with confidence that this is what's going to happen. Okay? Now, again, speculation still, because until it comes from the horse's mouth, it's not official. But I see, and the reason why I brought that up is because I see some people clickbait and all other stuff. No, this is not clickbait. I will give you the link to the podcast for you to listen to. I gave you the name. Listen to it. Just listen to it. Again, it's speculation, but it's not clickbait. But with this said, again, let's play devil's advocate. Let's just say if this is in the line of speculation that ends up becoming validated and it comes to fruition. Because I know a lot of people are thinking too, MM2K. If this does happen, who cares? Who cares? Like, what's the big deal? I'm still going to be an Xbox person because it's not hampering my ability to play games the way that I want. And to that, MM2K says, oh, I hear you. But hold on, Chief. Hold on. I didn't start this stream for nothing. This is why, if this is true, that this will be a problem. Now, I want to preface it with this first. I want to say this first. That MM2K, personally, myself, as a gamer, as long as I have options, and as long as the options don't fuck up my premier options, I don't care what y'all make these games available on. I don't care if you super glue a flat screen to someone's back and rewire them like a goddamn Android and make Halo available on the Person 2000. I don't care. I don't care. As long as I know I can boot up my console of choice or I can boot up my PC and play my games with the top-notch fidelity, and because it's powered up on the Person 2000, it's not going to fuck with that top-notch fidelity, I don't care. I don't care. With that being said, it's not a guarantee that that's going to be the case. Here's why. If you were to do something like this and put Halo on PlayStation, here are the cons. It completely eradicates, con number one is it completely eradicates the need for a new Xbox console. Because for one, if you're starting to put games on there natively, the power of the PlayStation and the Xbox Scarlet are pretty much identical. It's to the point to where Phil, in an agitated manner, if you listen to the Giant Bomb interview, Phil, in an agitated manner, said, hold on. Because they were talking about the power of the Scarlet. He said, hold on. People were twisting my words, so I want to clear this shit up. people was like, Phil, you ain't talking about the power of the Xbox no more, the most powerful machine, so you ain't looking to make the most powerful machine. And I would say this is one of the only bright spots of the interview. As he said, look, I'm going to tell you wholeheartedly, in clear terms, I am definitely looking to make this the most powerful console out there. With that said, I don't know. He said, goddamn, I looked at their chipset, looked at ours, they're identical. I can't confirm it right now. So if there's an edge, one of them is going to have a slight edge. Meaning that on paper, it may mean more there on paper than it means to the naked eye. Meaning that if you got Xbox game or Windows gaming, if you have Windows gaming titles running natively on PlayStation 5, and you're a console gamer, why the hell would you pick up why would you pick up an Xbox? Why? Why would you pick up that console? Then, in addition to that, the PlayStation ecosystem you get access to, whether you're a big fan of their games or not, but at least you have access to it. And the Xbox system can be enjoyed on one box, so you're saving yourself money. Again, the fidelity is going to be identical. But then here I see y'all with all this caping that's going on right now. 2K. How am I going to access my old games? Well, my question to that is, you have an old Xbox, right? I'm talking about a new one. If you got an old Xbox, Phil let you know, everybody let you know that your Xbox One is going to turn into a service pinger, and you can utilize your old games via xCloud. You play them through xCloud. And everybody's talking about how amazing xCloud looks, so the fidelity should be good no matter, you know what I'm saying, period. So you can boot up your old games on xCloud, or boot them up on the older console, or boot them up, you know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you have the older system, you can ping xCloud anywhere. And shit, if they're going to natively put Xbox games on a PlayStation 4, being that they've shaken hands together now, who's to say that they won't have xCloud on a PlayStation? And when I meant natively on the PlayStation 5, who's to say, who's the hell? Now, Sony may not allow it, but I'm just saying in a world where they would allow games to be there natively, they might allow the service too. And with that being said, you got a PC? A halfway decent laptop? xCloud is supposed to be wonderful. Remember all these motherfuckers down there right now? Oh, xCloud is real. Then it shouldn't matter. It's supposed to be better than Stadia in their eyes. So it wouldn't matter. Just boot up your older games on a laptop and just play them there. Or play them on your old console. Whatever. I'm talking about new shit. New shit. Xbox, if you got an older console, xCloud is going to be free. So then it would eliminate the necessity of having to invest even further into Microsoft's gaming. All right. In addition to that, there's no need for Game Pass. There really isn't no need for Game Pass. Now y'all are sitting there saying to yourself, hey, Devil Shooter, what's going on? Y'all sitting there saying, hold on, MM2K. Now, I understand when you was talking about the box, but no need for Game Pass? The hell you talking about, man? You crazy. Look, listen to your boy. Listen. Follow me now. If I don't invest in Microsoft any further, if this revelation is true, if Xbox or if I don't invest in Microsoft any further because the revelation is true that Microsoft or Windows gaming is natively coming to a hardcore console, I don't need Game Pass. Again, we just talked about it. xCloud is free, so I can play. As long as I got the old console, xCloud is free. So I can play my old games via my old console. Secondly, once they get PlayStation Now up and running, it's going to be better than Game Pass. I'm sorry. It's going to run identical to Game Pass, and it's going to be better. Both of them are going to have third-party games. The difference is, what's going to make PlayStation Now better than Xbox, or is better than Game Pass, is you now get access to the PlayStation library. Nobody gives a shit about this shovelware. Really. Y'all might try it, but nobody gives... No, at the end of the day, nobody is dying if they don't get access to the shovelware that Microsoft is putting in Game Pass right now, and that they want to continue to feed into Game Pass. But to have access to the PlayStation library, some of the old greats, the PlayStation 1 games, some of the PlayStation 2 games and all the other shit, and once they get the system revved up, and then they put new content in there, and like I said, I'm sorry to tell y'all, day and date, why would I get Game Pass? Think about it. Now, I might like a Halo Infinite. I might like a Gears of War. I'll just buy that shit a la carte. And it's coming to PC. So if I got a PC, I can get it on Steam cheap. And then with that said, I can get it a la carte if there's, again, putting Windows gaming titles natively on PlayStation consoles. So again, I don't even need Game Pass. It's not that shovelware that's in them, get that goddamn Game Pass. People bought into it because the shit is day and date. But at the end of the day, it's the only offering out there that's that robust. But when PlayStation Now comes out, it's going to be just as robust, if not more, when it comes out revamped. You know who else is going to have something that's going to be just as robust, if not more? The combination of of Google Stadia and Uplay Plus. Uplay Plus, as soon as the day that it drops, the day that Uplay Plus drops, it officially becomes better than Game Pass. That's with Gears 5 in it. I'm sorry. Sorry. For see, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Y'all don't get. Here's what y'all not understanding. The lineup of Ubisoft games slaughters the main draw to Game Pass right now, which is day and date. Day and date Windows gaming games, formerly known as Xbox games. It slaughters it. Now, when you add the cloud component to it, which it's going to be in combination with Google Stadia on the go, you tell me what's going to be more appealing. Again, for your older lineup, people may say, but I got older games and I don't want to convert over from Xbox. For your older games, you just use xCloud and use your old console. And if you want them older games, just play them there via xCloud. You don't need to get a new system to play them old games. And again, you're only playing them old games right now because you ain't getting no good new shit. But when you want to invest in new shit, you got other ecosystems to invest into. Again, if stuff is coming day and date to other hardcore consoles, you can just sit there and say, well, I'll just stay embedded with the PlayStation console with the PlayStation Now service. Or, if you're heavy on the PC, then you got the combination of Google Stadia and Uplay Plus. Both are going to have offerings better than what Microsoft is going to provide. PlayStation Now will be better than Game Pass for consoles. The combo of Uplay Plus and Stadia will be better than what's offered for PC gamers. See, this is the conundrum that I was talking about that Microsoft was going to find itself into. Trying to beat GE and be everything for everybody. I told y'all. But MM2K's a fool. I just don't have faith in filling his limbo shirts. So there's something wrong with me. And they're in this conundrum because you can't make such a wide step without having mind share in your back pocket. The predominant reason why that PlayStation faithful were able to rise from the ashes at the beginning of this generation in tears and championship belts at E3 was because at the end of the previous generation, they were getting hit with the type of games that they yearned for. Microsoft not giving its brass, its most staunch and most vocal community, something undeniably quantitative or quality that's full of quality. You can't deny it. Without Microsoft giving something like that to its faithful, you're making it next to impossible for them to do the same. Again, you don't connect to the casual gamer just by saying here, unless you're brand new. If you're brand new like Google, then you can, because casual people like to be inspired by new, innovative things. Microsoft is not new and considered innovative. They just got a new product. So when you got a history, unlike Google Stadia, and people can't, and Google now because they're new, they have the ability to play with your imagination and build their perception. They ain't got to worry about people going back and looking at their prior F-ups because this is the first time they're in the state. So they have that luxury. Microsoft, you don't have that luxury. Like PlayStation didn't have that luxury. They had to rebuild their brand based off of reinvigorating their hardcore. When the casuals saw that their hardcore was reinvigorated, then they jumped on board. I give you this example all the time. I know some of the most staunch Xbox 360 guys. I'll never go back to PlayStation. PlayStation is full of shit. When I finally picked up my Xbox One, I'm like, yo, y'all want to get into some Destiny, get into some Division? What's going on? Oh, man, I ain't got that motherfucking Xbox One. Why? Oh, man, I heard that Witcher, man, looked like such and such on the PlayStation 4, man. That 1080p 60, man, I heard, man, so I turned it in and I'm going to go get me a PlayStation 4. They were saying this shit before they even got the PlayStation 4. You had people that weren't gaming anymore that turned their shit in on credit. Didn't pick up the PlayStation 4 yet and was just still hyped about the prospects of getting it. Again, because they saw the demonstration by the PlayStation faithful that spread out to the casual. And that's what Microsoft needs. And there's not enough of these wood buffers out there that you saw talking about xCloud is real. There's not enough of y'all to do that. Because if there was enough of y'all doing that, then MM2K wouldn't even exist. Because y'all ain't convincing me anymore. You wouldn't have people like my bro Nethos, who is a big time Halo fan, signing the contract. You wouldn't have people like my homie Thomas Franks feeling dismayed and feeling betrayed. You wouldn't have the Godfather. I don't care what you say. You wouldn't have the Godfather, the mug that gave y'all the slangs, the logos, the shit. Aaron Greenberg is using the shit right now. You wouldn't have him saying what he said if y'all guerrilla hyperbole tactics were effective. Now I get it. There are some people out here in the community that just don't like PlayStation games that much. I'm one of them. But it's not a binary choice to me. It isn't select Microsoft or select Sony. It is give me what I want. And that leaves the roadmap wide open. Again, If if Windows gaming titles come natively to another hardcore console, I don't need the Microsoft box. I don't even need their subscription services because, again, the alternatives are going to be better. PlayStation Now, trust me, once they get off and running, they will be a better service than Game Pass. When Uplay and Google Stadia becomes available for PC gamers, the ones that may potentially be looking at this Game Pass Ultimate, that combination will be better than Game Pass on PC. Now you see where I'm going. Because here's what the problem is. Before I go any further into my next bullet. Here's what the problem is. You have too many people. You have way too many people that are focused on, hey, they're focused on the console aspect of it. Yeah, there's not going to be the console anymore. When Microsoft hears that, they're like, okay, we don't give a fuck where you play. It's all about how we're getting our money. We're not worried about how we give it back to you. We're going to advertise it that we are, but we're just looking for saturation. We don't care what y'all like. We really don't care. So with that being said, when you talk about, oh, well, this ain't coming to the console or the console gamers are getting skimmed, they don't care about that. You have to frame it to Microsoft in a way that, hey, not only will you not get the revenue or get saturation via the console, but then there's not a reason for me to put money into your services. And here's why. When you say it like that, then it's like, oh, shit. Hold on now. Come again? What's your theory on this? So all of my people that are out here that don't like this new regime order, this NRO, if you're not a fan of this new regime order, or even if you're a PlayStation person, and you just are upset because you were looking for a fight, you were looking for some competition because you know competition fosters innovation. And you're disappointed that you ain't got no competition. Because you saw what happened with the PlayStation 3 when Sony felt like they didn't have any competition until they started cleaning up their act. Wherever you lay and you're not a fan of this NRO, this new regime order, that's how you need to communicate. Don't talk about the console thing. Talk about how nobody really needs their services anymore. You're not going to need the box. And I'm not going to need Game Pass. And if I'm so worried about my old lineup, there's xCloud with the backwards compatibility shit. Which is free. Because y'all making it turning my old Xbox into a dongle, pretty much. That's how you need to phrase your communication. It's imperative that you do that. Because if you really want change, you got to speak change on where it's going to affect their bottom line. Their bottom line is no longer the console. So you have to elevate your discussion beyond the hardware, beyond the plastic, and stretch it out to the services. I don't need Game Pass. If PlayStation Now is now on Azure, it's going to be stable, and it's going to be running off the same servers. I now have access to the PlayStation Now library. And if they go day and day, what the fuck I want Xbox's library for? For Halo and Gears or Forza? I can buy them all a cart. So the most Microsoft might see out of me, if I even liked all three of those games, is $180. That's a big ass difference from the thousands and thousands and thousands that they've been gouging us out of while promising to give us the quality and the content that we came to the ecosystem for. That's a big difference. Now you're talking to their bottom line. Brian Stubber says in the chat, Phil got motherfuckers going this heavy clout or not. This shit is messy. Laugh my ass off. Random guy said, MM2K signed the contract. Just let the pain in. Oh no, the pain is over, baby. I've had my wild turkey. I cried in the car. Oh, Xbox is dead. Oh. I let it all out. Now it's time to fight the NRO, the new regime order. Y'all just stay tuned for that. It's coming. It's coming. It's going to be a brand new day. Hardcore Metal 89 said, competition is the lifeblood of this industry, unfortunately. Microsoft fell and quit way too quickly. Number one, they didn't fail because they're still competing. They're just not competing on the same track that we're looking for them to compete on. And two, they quit because to them, to Microsoft at whole, and this was inherently a Microsoft problem, this was a cultural problem. The Microsoft brass was never really sold on gaming. Except for, I want to say Steve Ballmer and Bill Gates. Particularly Steve Ballmer. But the Xbox brass, I mean, like the people really in charge of the Microsoft brass, they just thought that gaming was essential because Sony was making this big pitch for the living room via the console. So they had to have one too. So when they were pitched the idea for the Xbox, they were like, oh shit, this is what we need just in the nick of time. But beyond that, it was an auxiliary service. It was never a service that they looked at to make money or to be beneficial or even a core service. It was just an end to a means. It was like, we want to take over the living room. We want to have good saturation within homes across the globe. And the console will help us do that. And hence why the 360 was such a popular multimedia device, because they were inching closer and closer to that. And that's why they focused so much on TV as it related to the Xbox One. This was a plan of theirs. So it was never inherently within Microsoft's DNA to respect and love gaming. See, here's what you guys got to understand. And I understand this, and it shocked me too, because for a Fortune 500 company, I never knew there was so much division within this realm. But when you talk about technical people, IT people, and people that are in the IT field that are listening to this via on demand or live, whatever, y'all can respect this. Everybody that's in the technical field does not respect gaming. It's a very split and very divisive subject. You have people within, let's take it like this. You have people that cover Windows. Two totally different entities, but two different ways of approaching gaming. People like the contributors at Windows Gaming that have a defined respect, or Windows Central, I'm sorry, that report at Windows Central, they have a defined and a coherent respect for gaming. They love it. They understand it and they talk about it. They talk about it as a core part of their business even before Phil got his seat at the big boys table. That's them. Then you have people like Paul Thurrott, who's a Windows guy that will talk about gaming, but he does not have any respect for it. And that whole dynamic is symptomatic across IT groups or information groups all across the globe. Because there are some people that feel like the investment in the coding and the time for gaming is a waste of development talent. I have two people that I work with. Fortune 500 company, been all over the world, different countries, India, everywhere. Working on some of the most elaborate systems and IT setups. I'm going to say one guy, I'll call one guy Shane. Shane is the manager. And the other guy I'll call Bob. Bob is one of the IT people. So when I'd be out on coffee break or whatever, chilling with these people, when me and Bob is the gaming guy. Me and Bob would talk about gaming. One of his favorite games was when PUBG came out and H1N1, he's a big PlayStation guy too. Or H1Z1, whatever it was. This dude, I mean, his grin from ear to ear. Grin from ear to ear. I forgot what I called the other guy, but Seamus or Sean, whatever his name is, the manager was like, man, you still play. We'll rip on him all the time. You're sitting there playing games with the neighborhood kids, still in their Chico stick money. I mean, we would laugh and joke and go back and forth. Now I'm a gamer too, but I just remain quiet and I just listen to the back and forth. And there's sometimes I'd be on coffee break with Shane, the manager that doesn't like gaming, by myself, and there will be times that I will be on coffee break with Bob, the guy that does like gaming, by myself. And talking to them when gaming would come up, Shane would just rip it. It's a waste of time. I can't stand people would waste their talents to do this and that for kids and all this other stuff. Because it's a cultural difference. You have cultures within cultures. So I brought that up to say this. That it was never Microsoft's plan originally for gaming to be an essential part of their business. It was just an ends to a means, an auxiliary service. But once they discovered it can make them some money, now they got a seat at the big boys table. But see, when you're a conglomerate like Microsoft, then you're trying to mass produce things. Some of the little intricacies and the fanfare, you're not into that. It's all about finding a niche, mass producing it. Finding a niche, mass producing it. Hence why 343 and Coalition will always work on Gears and Halo. They just want to assembly belt produce that. Where Naughty Dog will do different projects or stuff like that. Guerrilla Games will do, it's all about find a niche, mass produce it. So in comes Phil, someone that was part of the regime that, because they had the creative freedom, because it was all about how can we utilize these gamers to get into the living room, they thought outside of the box. They did second party deals. They didn't invest in first party deals because they just figure we're not the experts in gaming. We do too much other shit. We ain't got time to house gaming studios. Let's go get other people to develop and foster their talents, i.e. Jade Empires, Mass Effect, Bioshocks, and we'll just help fund them. And it was going into this generation to where that plan fell apart because they invested so much money into the TV aspect that when it came into those second party deal aspects, they had broken up a lot of those relationships. So that's why the games that we got, even though they were decent and they were plentiful, a lot more than what they are now, they weren't of the quality that got them praise. So you got to understand the history to understand where we're going, okay? So with that being said, now you have Phil. You have the new regime, the NRO, new regime order. And their thing now is that, hey, look, we're going to make money off of this. We're going to mass produce shovelware. And if you're AAA, if you want a AAA experience, we also got on a conveyor belt that's going to run a little bit slower because we do have to put a little bit more time into this, unfortunately. Your Halo, Gears, and Forza, and maybe a Fable. That's it. That's Windows gaming. But when you have companies like Sony, whether I like their games or not, when you have companies like Sony that are a little bit more dynamic in their approach to creating big experiences, and you have them as an example of it can be done. It's just to me, they just need to work on their gameplay aspects of it. But when you have examples like that, then you can utilize an opportunity like this. You can utilize a platform like this and go to Sony and say, Sony, look. Go to Microsoft and say, Microsoft, look. We get you want to conveyor belt everything and mass produce everything, but I don't need your shit. I don't need your services. You don't have the mind share to convince me. And then if you did, when I look at your services in comparison to everybody else, I don't need your console. Again, if you're going to do shit natively, I don't need your console, nor do I need your subscription service. Because there are better alternatives out there. Why would I get an Xbox if you're natively putting games on PlayStation and I have access to the PlayStation library too if I just buy a PlayStation? Why would I invest in Game Pass if once they get up and running, goddamn PlayStation Now is going to be better on the console, and Google Stadia and Uplay Plus, the combo, those two will be better for PC gamers. Why? That is what the discussion needs to be. All right. In addition to that, you got to ask yourself, with all this streaming and all this stuff that is happening, does Microsoft, will it affect the bottom line of Fidelity? Possibly. I mean, we've seen it with Sea of Thieves. We've seen it with even the X, where we have the most powerful console. A lot of the fidelity for a lot of these third-party games should be a lot better and a lot wider than what it is from the Pro, and it's not. I mean, it's still better, but it's not leaps and bounds better as people claimed it could be. You had developers say, yeah, we could potentially do this, but why would I break my neck to add on an additional service that I'm not getting paid for from a console that's selling the least? I mean, if your only pitch is, if you X-enhance this, people might buy more of your games. And I go look at your platform and y'all ain't buying The Witcher, a game more suited for your brass. Y'all ain't buying it. The fuck am I, what? Man, I'm not X-enhancing this shit all like that. Let me sharpen this shit up a little bit. All right, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here, take this shit. You see what I'm saying? Well, like, why? Why would you do that? And that's what we see. So Microsoft, again, this is not Xbox gaming. This is Windows gaming. Mass produced what was easier to get out to the masses. Conveyor belt. They're not going to work with people all like that in this new era to confirm that fidelity is top notch. If the vast majority of their gamers are playing on streaming, that's going to affect the fidelity. And all they're going to do is argue on paper, this has so many compute units and all this other shit. They're going to charge you an arm and a leg for it. Because Satya told you, if you want a premium experience, you got to pay a premium price. That's why the Surface laptops are so goddamn high now. He's a believer in that. He's a CEO. So people have a reason to be worried about streaming causing an effect on the fidelity on their most powerful console. I have the most powerful console, and I got games like God of War that on a base PlayStation 4 that look better than the games on my X. That's unacceptable. So when you think about it, I mean, when you put everything together, you then got to ask yourself, you Windows gaming people that still want to go under the moniker of Xbox guys, but you Windows gaming stands, you win gumps, or you win groupies. What are you guys celebrating if this is true? Like, what are you guys going to celebrate if this is true about Xbox, quote unquote, but Windows gaming? You're not gonna you don't have a legacy of quality of games commitment coming out of this new regime. Ever since they took over, their games have been subpar as far as AAA production is concerned. They may have been fun, but they're subpar. Prior regimes, the games have been, oh man, this is cool, this is real. They've been good to fucking fantastic. You can't say that about these games since Phil took over. Also, so you can't celebrate the games. You can't celebrate the online services, and I've been getting in a battle with people like that much because the online service isn't that much better anymore. Remember when Xbox Live used to be leaps and bounds over PlayStation? Xbox Live is going down just as much as PlayStation is now. Maybe not as frequently, but that gap between the two services, it's not there anymore. The multimedia gap isn't there anymore. So PlayStation, even though on paper, Xbox may provide a better service on paper to the end user, the PlayStation experience is good enough. Where most of your online games are being played where? Look at your Call of Duty. Look at your NBA 2K games. All your online, all the big popular online games. Look at your Fortnites. Where are they being played primarily on? And like I said on Twitter, y'all like equations. If you having a hard time guessing that one, 100 million is greater than minus 50 million. You know how they did the 6 is greater than 4? Well, 100 is greater than minus 50. Most of those games are being played on PlayStation. So the ecosystem as far as the online capabilities are good enough. And then I already talked about it. You don't need Game Pass for the best subscription service. If I'm a console gamer, once PlayStation Now gets up and running, I have access to the PlayStation library, the 1, 2, and 3 library. You know what I'm saying? Some of the greatest games from there. I'm going to have access to the PlayStation 4 library. And then I'm going to have the PlayStation 5 library. That's not going to have the shovelware of the Windows gaming ecosystem. So which one's going to be better? Come on now. To the majority of games, who's going to be better? So Microsoft better celebrate them having the millions of being the biggest member number of subscribers now, because once PlayStation Now gets up and running, that's going to instantaneously change. Well, the third-party games, PlayStation Now is going to get them third-party deals too. They have a wider reach, and they're running off the same platform. Microsoft's investment in gaming innovation. They have now given some of the secret sauce to PlayStation, the foundation of it, and their variation of it isn't that much better than what PlayStation is up to now. And with it being better on paper, but not that much better to the end user, look what the result is now. So imagine when Microsoft gives Sony the secret sauce. And Microsoft isn't going to care. Because they're still going to make money off of Sony's success. They don't care. But it's going to affect you, the end user, because Microsoft isn't going to be fighting to give you the best product consistently. That's the problem. That's just on the console side. On the PC side, where they're trying to make the greatest outreach, you have Uplay Plus and Google Stadia that's going to eat their lunch on the PC side. Then they talking about Square Enix is getting into the game. Like, stop. They have nowhere to go. No way out. Well, hold on, MM2K. All right, you kicked our teeth in about the games. You kicked our teeth in about the game services. But that controller though. Look, nowadays, you can get a $25, $30, $40 adapter that'll allow your Elite controller to be played on the PlayStation. You can play it on the PC. So again, besides maybe getting a new Elite controller, which they don't make that much money off of, because it's hardware. I mean, they're making decent money off of people repetitiously buying these controllers because they ain't got no games to give them. But they're not making that much money. It's not like the Elite controllers in houses everywhere. I mean, it's sold well in comparison to what they believed it was going to be. But their claim to fame ain't going to be this new Elite controller. So even if people buy a couple of games a la carte, that's not the game plan that they envision. They're not going to see success off of that. So if I go and I'm like, well, why would I be investing in the Xbox ecosystem? And I just say, well, I got this Elite controller here. It's good enough for me. Let me just go get a $30 adapter and get me a PlayStation. I got all my old games that I can play via xCloud using my old console. If I primarily game on console, I could use PlayStation Now. If I primarily game on PC, I can use Uplay and Google Stadia. I've completely excommunicated Xbox from my life as far as future investments, except for maybe a game here or there. So at the end of the day, what's the deal? Why would I do it? I don't need the ecosystem anymore. So, with that being said, I need to know, what are y'all celebrating? I mean, I get it, y'all were at FanFest. But what prospects were you celebrating that you were getting that can't be offered anywhere else? Because I just laid it out. There is none. In the PlayStation, in the Xbox, the original Xbox era, there was a lot. There was the Broadband, the Xbox Live. In the Xbox 360 era, it was the multimedia and the type of games they were bringing as well. But really, going into this next generation, they're just doing, what everybody else is doing. They're just claiming that they can do it better. And you know how the claims of the NRR work, they usually fizzle out and die. Because there's no substance to them. Big ups to Steph Keep It G. He says, you play where your friends are at. Which is a great point. It's a great point. Here's the problem with that, though. A lot of my friends, even though I think the launch of the Xbox One wasn't that bad, I think of a lot of it, besides the price point, was a lot to do with nothing. Extra 180p, I've seen it myself in comparisons at GameStop. The extra 180p didn't do anything, and you were getting a better product as far as the games were concerned at launch with the Xbox after they dropped the price. You were, because you were getting a better lineup of newer games, and you were getting all the other games that was available across the board. But Steph, you see how just that slight difference, that 180p, even after they dropped the price, you see how that 180p made all the difference in the world and shifted the trajectory of where your friends decided to go. I'm telling you, it was an act of attrition. Everywhere I turned, people that I gamed with on the 360 were leaving. They were going to PlayStation. And you didn't have that much of a radical shift. They talked about it, but then they pulled back on it. So for the end user, you were getting a very identical console at launch. It's just one had a few more exclusives. There wasn't God of War and Uncharted, none of that shit out yet. So what happened? Perception. That's what totally shifted the dynamic. So what you're telling me is that you think that your friends are still going to be in the next Xbox ecosystem? If this dynamic shifts a lot further the way it looks? No. Especially if I can get Halo, Gears, and Forza on a PlayStation 5? These people aren't that committed to Xbox like some of us were. Your friends just go where the games are at. So if I could play Halo, Gears, and Forza on a PlayStation 5, it's not going to look that good for console saturation, which Microsoft on base doesn't care about. What they care about is just how much money they're getting from everything in totality. But what I'm here to say is, if they don't make further strides to connect better with the hardcore gamer and put something in their hands, then they're going to lose everywhere across the board. That's what I'm saying. And it's all going to start with them putting their games natively this early on hardcore consoles, on competing hardcore consoles. Because I just laid out, for example, why you have alternatives. Microsoft is not providing anymore, as far as gaming is concerned, any product or any service, well, really product or service, that you can't get anywhere else if they're putting games natively on other hardcore consoles. The game is over for them. Not just because of console saturation, but there are alternative services elsewhere, everywhere. I've been talking about this, that people are going to rather flock to, and they're going to fall flat on their face. And those of us that still want to stick to the Windows gaming Microsoft platform, we're going to find out that our friends are going to make that realization too, and they're going to leave, like how my friends left at the beginning of this generation over the lesser extremity of events. Period. So what you guys got to understand is that, again, don't sleep on this. Keep an eye on it. Again, this was just a rumor. But we've seen a lot of these rumors that we said, no, Microsoft ain't going to do that. Microsoft ain't going to do that. We've seen a lot of them come to fruition. So keep an eye on this. And as we don't get clarity on it, force their hand. How you do that, MM2K? Well, stay tuned. We're going to show y'all how it's going to get done. We're going to show you how to do this. No NRO. Remember that. No NRO. But again, I want y'all to think about something. With all these photo ops and all the stuff that y'all do, what are y'all celebrating? Y'all drinking beer, spending money to idolize another human being who's not looking out for your best interests, but instead brainwashes you to look out for his? Like, what are y'all celebrating this week? If you're having a good time, that's one thing. But people are trying to make it seem like there's something to celebrate from Microsoft. Microsoft is not providing anything that you can't get elsewhere. And from the looks of it, it may not just be services, but it's going to be products too. Bet you by golly, wow. Y'all had me go back to the 60s on that one. Jeez. Think about it, people. So I just wanted to drop that dosage on y'all, man. Oh, man. But big ups to everybody in the chat, man. Mr. Righteous Fish. He says, some of y'all are confusing the success of Microsoft with Xbox. Absolutely. Steph's Keep It G says, I feel you, hardcore metal. That's why I got all the homies been here 10 years plus. And big ups to Steph Keep It G. Xbox. Hey, Steph, are y'all... that's right. Y'all ain't doing Xbox Uncut this week, are y'all? Or did y'all do it? Check out xboxuncut.com. For those of you that like MM2K, shut your old ass up. Xbox ain't dead. You want to see a different take on what's going on within the community? Check out Xbox Uncut, one of the greatest Xbox shows ever. Go to xboxuncut.com. I've had the pleasure of hanging with these gentlemen and doing a podcast with them. Me and Dirk Griggity, we had a lot of fun. Check them out. Saturday. Okay, word. But check out Xbox Uncut and get more information there as far as when the shows are airing and stuff and how to access them. But I want to thank everybody that came out. Steph Keep It G, Mr. Righteous Fish, Obnoxious Fun. If y'all believe MCC was going to PlayStation 4, you need some brain cells. You never know. East Texas, I mean, again, this could just be a rumor, but you never know. I mean, you've had Matt Booty say in an interview, come on, people, he said if there's enough, the guy asked him, well, if there's enough people that want to play Halo on PlayStation, then we can see. He's like, yeah, yeah. He said, yeah to it. Microsoft don't care where they put their games at. Now, is the strategy the best? I don't know. East Texas, Devil Shooter, big up the Devil Shooter, Hardcore Metal 89, Brian Stubert, Sean 786, the random guy trying to get me the 706 gamer. He said, be grateful. Phil gave us cholera books and baby. Joazzo Vegas said, preach 2K. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep people informed. They want me to sign that contract bad, overdone. What's up, Most? I'm really not feeling what Microsoft is talking about. They don't want to compete anymore. Chain Drive K. Dark Link 999. Man, they want your boy to sign that contract. Skip Bayless. Mario Sannon. Paul G. The Almighty. Halo is a bunch of Mighty Morphin effing Power Rangers. And Wrath, what's up, Wraith? FC Violet. Xavier Bay. He said that dude is lying. This is a supreme damage control like PlayStation 5 being stronger than Scarlet with no receipts. F out of here. Halo is overrated. Tom Ass. Cali Rex, what's up? And I believe that is it. J-Dub. Oh, J-Dub with his crazy ass. We're going to be podcasting later. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody coming out. Johnny the Truth Teller. Graphic God. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Again, we're having issues with stability. YouTube, they got some shit to fix. And again, I can't sit here and preach all this stuff about Microsoft, what formerly my preferred console. You know what I'm saying? Well, I can't say. I'm just a free agent. I'm not signing no contract. I'm a free agent right now. I'm not, I have no preferred console. I'm just talking about my preferred way to game. I'm trying to just find my preferred way to game now. Being that everybody wants to be everywhere now. They want to be on the toaster on your fan and LCD on your fan and shit. I'm just looking for my preferred way to game. I'm not even putting a flag on my preferred console. So I'm looking right now. With that being said, I can't preach stability there and then be dealing with this effery with YouTube. So again, we're going to have different content on different channels. I urge everybody to follow all the content everywhere. Okay, so if you're watching on YouTube, which primarily everybody's doing, follow me on Mixer. I'm going to have Mixer content. Follow me on Twitch. I'm going to have Twitch TV content. Just follow me everywhere if you're not there. Those are the websites where you can go. Mixer.com/MOS2000, Twitch.tv/MightyMost2000. Go there, follow there now, because we're going to have different strokes for different folks, okay? So with that being said, I want to thank the 29 people that are watching. Thank y'all so much across all three platforms. But again, I can no longer continue to do this because I got to provide content across the board as a safeguard so that y'all can keep getting these doses. YouTube, they got to get their shit together, and hopefully when they will, then we can primarily put our stuff back on there. But like I said, there's going to be MM2K content everywhere. Just follow those places and keep up with it. With that being said, I want to thank everybody that came out here. I got some stuff to do before my wife beats me to the white meat. But as always, Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day, and stay tuned to Next Gen 720's channel around 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern. If things still go as planned, we got a special treat for y'all. All right, peace.